Now, we heard earlier about major problems with courier company Evri. It doesn't fill you with much confidence in using delivery services, perhaps especially 10 days and counting before Christmas. So what can you do if you find yourself missing a parcel or just a general issue getting what you paid for? Let's bring in the Edinburgh-based consumer expert, Scott Dixon. Hello, Scott. Good to speak to you.
Hi, Fiona. Good to speak to you.
How common is the issue of delivery drivers to feel under pressure to get the job done? Because that sounds as though that's what's been happening.
Yeah, that is the crux of it, Fiona, because they are self-employed and they are paid per drop, and the pressure is on to hit targets and get as many parcels out as possible. And I've been affected as well with Evri recently. And, you know, the problems that consumers are having with Evri, they're well documented, and this company clearly has inherent problems that Panorama have uncovered. But the courier problems are not yours. And under the Consumer Rights Act 2015, your contract is with the retailer, and they are legally responsible to ensure your goods arrive safely within 30 days unless another time frame is agreed. And the law also states that the goods remain at the trader's risk until they come into the physical possession of the consumer or a person identified by the consumer to take possession of the goods. So if something you have ordered has not arrived, you should contact the retailer in the first instance to find out where it is, because their contract is with the courier, and make your problem theirs.
So that's an important point, isn't it? And we were talking about this in the newsroom this morning. It's the retailer that you need to go to, but I've also heard retailers can be frustratingly difficult to get hold of. So how do you get someone on the phone or email, and what do you have to do to prove to get your full refund? How does this bit work?
Well, interestingly, the onus is on the retailer to prove that the goods have arrived in your safe possession. And a photo of a parcel on a doorstep means nothing, because the courier could just take the photo and go back out with the parcel. So the onus is on them. And, you know, if the order goes missing or it's stolen or it's damaged, you are legally entitled to a replacement or a refund. And if you can't contact the retailer and you're being stonewalled, make a chargeback with your bank. And what the bank does is they claw the money back from the retailer's account and gives the retailer an opportunity to defend the dispute. And chargebacks are problematic for retailers to deal with. And you've got up to 120 days to do that. And it's even worth mentioning to retailers, if you're having trouble getting either a refund or a replacement, I'll just make a chargeback.
A chargeback.
And see what they say. Yeah,
how
that's
do you,
right.
Just explain to our audience what happens then. How do you do that?
So you contact your bank and say there's been a breach of contract under the Consumer Rights Act 2015. I placed an order with this retailer. They have unfulfilled the order, and there's been a breach of contract. I want to dispute the transaction and the payment, and the retailer will be given an opportunity to defend it. But in the meantime, the bank claws the money back from the retailer's account and puts it into yours temporarily. And the retailer usually has 45 days to present their case.
And they're not going to want that hassle, are they? That's just not what they want.
No, and they are costly and problematic to deal with. But one thing I would like to add is never nominate a safe place if you have instructed a courier to deliver a parcel to you, because if you tell the courier to leave a parcel in a porch or behind a shed and it gets stolen, that's on you, because they have followed your instructions.
Okay, that's very interesting. I think the Drive Time team are taking notes on this, because it was a great long conversation this morning. It's 10 days until Christmas. What's the chances of having parcels in time for Christmas Day, Scott?
Well, it depends when you placed the order and if you made a time-specific date for the delivery to be made. And usually you have to give retailers up to 30 days to deliver whatever you've ordered. And you would normally expect that to be between 5 and 7 days, unless you've made it, say, express delivery, next day delivery. And it's difficult, you know. I think the problem is, Fiona, retailers are forcing people to shop online, and you know they don't carry any stock in the shops. And you need to order online. And for example, shoes, boots, trainers. You can't go around the high street anymore and just browse through the shops and try different sizes on. They just tell you to order online. And it's putting more pressure on the courier firms, who just simply don't have the resources to cope with the demand.
Of course, not every driver's bad. We've got to say that. Producer Paul,
course,
he lives
yeah.
in a small village. He knows his every driver by name. Bob. He says Bob's brilliant. Brilliant Bob, really. Star of the village. Is there a danger that some drivers are giving all drivers a bad name, though?
Yeah, I mean, to give you an example, my uncle, he knows his every driver by name and says he's great. You know, I think in smaller villages and towns, you get to know your driver and you get that rapport. But I think in bigger towns and cities, it's just a lottery and it's just a free for all, and there's no accountability, Fiona. I mean, recently I ordered something from Marks and Spencers, and it was delivered by Evri, and the driver just dropped it on my doorstep. He didn't ring my bell, he didn't knock on my door, and I went out and challenged him, and he just denied it. And I saw him dropping off their parcels on everyone's doorsteps without even trying to contact the recipients. And I lodged an official complaint with the CEO of Marks and Spencers and Evri, and because it's just not acceptable. These drivers are paid to do a job, and you know, it's only by chance that I've safely got what I ordered, and there's no accountability at the end of the day. I think that's the problem.
Well, Scott, I hope all your parcels arrive in time. Certainly, you get time to wrap them all. Lawyers for Evri told the BBC the performance of our couriers is tracked in real time with mandatory photo proof for every delivery. And you can watch Where's My Parcel? It's on the BBC iPlayer now and the BBC One at 8 p.m.